Lawrence Okolie.
Oh, the sauce.
Ranked number 1 in WBC. AJ ranked number 2. Heavyweight, got the Reactor fight coming up. How's he finding life in the heavyweight division?
He's good. He's adapted to it like I knew he would. Listen, Lawrence's story for the last 12, 14 months, from where he was to where he is now, not just in the ring but outside the ring, it is a great story. And I've always said it, hope someone was filming this and documenting it at 24/7. Because from going back to
one round at heavyweight, and he's number 1 in WBC.
I know, but listen, but back in November 23, December, he was depressed, losing to Billam-Smith.
Yep.
Okay. He got in contact, Joseph Parker needed some sparring in the Mike Tyson gym. So Lawrence would come over, I'd do his corner for him. He did a couple of sparring sessions with him. We got on well with Lawrence, and then Lawrence come to Manchester. Then we said, right, let's move up to Bridgerweight. We beat a kid who blasted some kid out in a round, and no one expected that. And believe it or not, he went in as the underdog, Lawrence, for that, and he won in a round. Next time out, then we fought a heavyweight, and we moved him up to 18 stone because the opponent was 18 stone. I wanted him to fight an 18 stone kid to see how Lawrence was against the big guys pushing and pulling, and he was a very good kid. I wouldn't say he's elite top 10, but he was a good kid to give me an idea what Lawrence had. But because of Lawrence not making weight no more and filling out and growing, his punching power is unreal.
How have you installed though that mental confidence in him, Lawrence? Because like you say, when he come to you, he's sort of broken after the Billam-Smith fight. How do you reinstall that confidence into a fighter? What is it, Joe, that you have to do that changes them?
I just took him out of. He'd just become a dad. So there was that pressure. His career was singing. I took him out and brought him to Manchester, and I called it, you go into Apollo Creed's gym in the Rocky films. You come in there, you come into a gymnasium, you've got a load of young, hungry fighters alongside you, alongside Natasha Jonas, Jack Massey, Callum Johnson, Paul Butler, all young, hungry kids there as well, and you're treated no different. Where I feel out there in Dubai, it's a little bit laid back, it's not this. So it was just working on him mentally, and I wanted to try and break him, and I couldn't break him, and I thought, nah, you've got more resolve than people give you credit for. So hence then why how I said fights have gone, they've gone the way that is. The second one I didn't expect a round. I expected, like Lawrence said, round 5 or 6, but he landed and that was it. But he has that confidence, he has that swagger, he's got a bit of money in his back pocket, his restaurant's doing well, life's good, the baby's thing, and he's in the room now, and now he's ranked WBC number 1. Obviously, Kabiel is the interim champion, but we'll see what happens. But he's in that position, and I've got a confident fighter. And we took the call. We accepted to step in when he pulled out, and we were due to fight Joseph Parker, but he ended up training Okolie. It was between them two, and they chose Okolie. But we accepted it. We were up the road, and obviously it didn't come out. But Lawrence's confidence in himself now. I know you made the point there, only one fight at heavyweight, and he's WBC number 1. But I do feel because of him winning the WBC Bridgerweight, them governing bodies look kindly on you moving up the division.
I know they do. But I remember speaking to you, I think my memory serves correctly, about you getting involved with him, and you talked about certain expectations of him. Yeah. And if it wasn't going to be what you expected from him, you weren't going to get involved, and you weren't going to waste your time with that. Because the criticism about Lawrence is that, I like Lawrence, don't get me wrong, but there's some of the fights that he's been in have been...
Oh, there's a bad smell after him.
Pretty bad smell.
Yeah.
So when you say he's the real deal at heavyweight, and we look around the heavyweight division, and we look at people like Kabiel, who I personally like a lot, and I think you do too.
I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, I think he's brilliant. And you say that Lawrence is the real deal. That must mean that you have an expectation of him potentially winning a world title.
I wouldn't be training him if I didn't, Simon.
So what's the difference in Lawrence? Is it simply the fact he's going into a weight class that's more natural for him?
I think that there's a lot of things. I never ask the fighters what they did in the past, coaches or anything else, but he tells me a few things, and there's a lot of things that he didn't do. And obviously, them 10 weeks when he was in Moss Side, I tried to break him, and I couldn't break him, and I pushed and pulled. And
was breaking him involved?
Breaking him goes like in a very... stressful training sessions, getting him to the breaking point, like you have to go over that wall or you don't go over the wall. Like, so just before Poland, he did 12 rounds with 3 different kids, and he took round 9 off. At the end of round 12, everyone was clapping. I went, no, one more. And I put the fresh kid in for round 13, and he looked at me and I thought, I'm got a duck here, because he could see it in his eyes. But he didn't. He went out and he won round 13, and I thought, nah, you can dig down when you need to dig down. And that holding, I'm trying to get him out all that. We haven't done no holding, but that smell, as you said, and I say, still lingers a little bit, and we can't allow that. I'm sort of like calling the UK Wilder for his performance that he's done all the sense, but I do feel he's got the boxing acumen now, he's got the power, he's got the confidence in his ability, and he's back, and more so without having to make weight. And I know people quick say, oh, look at the state on the scales. Well, Larry Holmes, Tyson Fury, they're not body beautiful.
Yeah.
We're talking about boxing, and if there's a fragmentation of the heavyweight title after Usyk and Daniel Dubois, Lawrence in a good place to challenge it. And I think he can win a world heavyweight title.
Give us a roadmap for him. He's got Richard Riakporhe there. He comes through that one on April the 5th.
That's not an easy fight.
Yeah, that's not an easy fight. It's a fight that should have happened at cruiserweight, now happening, and it is a tough fight. But if he does come through that fight, what is the roadmap for him? Because as you said there, the interim champion is Caballero, and the undisputed looks like it's going to possibly happen again for Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. So if those titles are tied up, where do you take him if he comes through on the 5th?
Well, I think once them belts have come through, they'll be fragmented. I think, I'm not just touching on it, whether Turk Al-Sheikh goes, listen, them belts are gone, you fight for the ring belt or whoever moving on. I think he said something to Bivol last week, you know, who's looked after you. Do you understand? And maybe that conversation might be happening with a few fighters, I don't know, but I do feel it'll open the door. And if it's Caballero Lawrence, it's a hard fight to win a world title, but it's a fight, obviously seeing Caballero up close a couple of times now and seeing Chang drop him, that there is a vulnerability, like anyone can get him in the chin, and that's what's exciting about the heavyweights. But that's it, we've just got to be patient and wait for the opportunity.
Is this a better fight between Riakporhe and Okolie at heavyweight than it would have been at cruiserweight?
Yeah, I think so. My only worry is with the two of them, that after a few rounds sizing up, we don't go back to both of them. I'm not saying like stick insects, but where they all end up getting holding all the time and that type of stuff, and it becoming quite a bit of a bad event. We really wanted the Joe Joyce fight. I thought that was an ideal fight for Lawrence Okolie. It was agreed on, and then it didn't happen. And then when he pulled out Dylan White the other day, I said, Lawrence, let's try and take that. So I just thought Joe Joyce was a motivated Joe Joyce, because he wants to come back to say that he's not finished. And then Lawrence wants to show everyone that he is a genuine heavyweight. And it was just, well, if you can't beat him, then you've got nothing. And if you can't beat him, it was at crossroads for both of them. And it was a good fight for Lawrence. And if Lawrence could have done a number and Joe, he made a statement.
Were you focusing on weight here with Lawrence as well? Like, you know, because heavyweights obviously can come in whatever they want, but there is an optimum weight for
and I know his optimal weight. We've done that over the camp, over the two camps now. I know what he performs at, and regardless of the weight, he was. I heard someone comment about the statement scales last time, but you're not in the gym. You didn't see the round sparring. Nothing's changed. He's still running around the track like Hartley Hare. He absolutely putting the work in, and if he wasn't, I would have nothing to do with it. I fly out now this week to carry on training him out there, out in Dubai, and. Yeah, we'll see where it goes, but like I say, in a great position.
Do you expect to see a stoppage in that fight between Riakporhe?
I think we've got two big hitters, and I do with Lawrence, yeah.
I mean, Richard didn't let his hands go in the CBS fight, did he?
No.
And he was mostly weight trained as well, and you'll see a different...
That's the fascination about this fight, is going in at heavyweight here. You've got two guys that were struggling at the weight at cruiserweight, and that creates a negative performance. So I understand that totally from both sides. Well, I think that we'll see a more aggressive side, obviously, from Lawrence, from what you're telling me, and I think we'll see that from Riakporhe. It's a better fight actually at heavyweight than it was at cruiserweight. It's a good fight.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope it is, because I like both belts, and what I don't want is a stinker. Yeah, I think it has the propensity to be that. I hope it's a good fight, because I don't think if either one of them wins on the back of a stinker, I don't think it helps either one of them particularly.
See, the thing with Lawrence, I said to Lawrence, yeah, we'd fight Charles Martin. Yeah, we'll fight. They put loads of names to us, Ortiz, Charles Martin, all that, and we said yes to them all. So it's not like we're not. And then we've ended up with Riakporhe, and I said, well, he really doesn't do nothing for us. And this was before his latest ranking. So Lawrence now has got everything to lose, where Richard has everything to win. So that's thrown into the pot now. So we're like in a Champions League semi-final here now. Do you understand?
But it's a good British fight.
Oh, yeah, it's a great British fight.
It should get people's interest.
100%, definitely, when them two start going at the press.
We'll look forward to it.